Secretary, will you please have the record reflect that a quorum of qualified members are present, thus enabling the transaction of business. Chairman Sample has a previous commitment and will not be with us today. Please also note that Commissioner Crowdy is participating by telephone today and will not count for quorum establishment or voting purposes. Chairman Sample had requested Commissioner Paklumba preside over today's meeting. Unless there is an objection, Commissioner Paklumba.
Thank you, Rob. Item 2, the consideration of minutes for the meeting of June 29th. Members of the commission, minutes of the commission meeting conducted on June 29th, 2021 have been provided to the members in advance. At this time, I'd like to ask the members if there are any edits, corrections, or amendments. Hearing none, Ms. Secretary, please let the record reflect the minutes were accepted. We'll go on to rulemaking. New York State Racing Parimutuel Wagering and Breeding Law, Section 104.19, authorizes the Commission to promulgate rules and regulations that it deems necessary to carry out its responsibilities. To that regard, the Commission will from time to time promulgate rules and amendments pursuant to the State Administrative Procedure Act. Today, we have one rule for proposed consideration. Before we consider the proposal, however, I'd like Rob to provide a little context by discussing how we got here.
Thank you, sir. Chapter 59 of the Laws of 2021 amended Section 1367, added a new Section 1367A to the Racing, Parimutuel Wagering, and Breeding Law to authorize mobile sports wagering when the sports wager is made through virtual or electronic means from a location within New York and is transmitted to and accepted by an electronic equipment located at a licensed gaming facility. The statute directed the Commission to conduct a competitive bidding process to award licenses to mobile sports wagering platform providers based on the ability of the provider to maximize sustainable long-term revenue for the state. Immediately following the passage of the law, the staff were besieged with requests to meet to discuss the new law and the likely implementation process. To ensure consistency in response, the staff met internally to tabulate likely questions regarding the new law and the likely process leading to the award of licenses. This document, which ultimately included 152 questions and answers, was included in the RFA as Appendix C. At the same time, staff was developing the RFA that I just referenced, a request for application to be used for soliciting interest from mobile sports wagering platform providers and operators. As part of this RFA development, it was necessary to create a draft proposed regulation set to provide insight to the anticipated regulatory environment governing mobile sports wagering. The draft rules were caveated as being pre-proposal and a document that was subject to Commissioner consideration and proposal with the notice that the proposal might be revised during the administrative rulemaking process. The RFA itself contained 2 rounds of questions and answers, which resulted in over 200 unique inquiries. These were published as part of the RFA process. As for the pre-proposal rule circulation, we received 94 comments, of which 42 were duplicative. 9 simply sought clarification of terms, meaning there were 43 comments seeking change to the pre-proposal document. Following review, staff accepted 14 comments in full or in part. But back to the larger picture, the RFA was issued on July 9th, with responses returned on August 9th, 2021. The Commission received 6 submissions comprised of 12 platforms and 14 operators. The Commission is now on the clock with the statute requiring selection of platform providers no later than 150 days to the extent practicable after the final application was received. While the 150-day mark is January 6, 2022, the RFA included an expectation that the process might be concluded by the first week of December, which brings us back to the agenda item. For commission consideration is proposal of regulations to govern mobile sports wagering and related amendments to the regulations governing in-person sports wagering at the 4 licensed commercial casinos. This proposed rulemaking would establish regulations for mobile sports wagering and a new Part 5330, which would address definitions, various licensing requirements, systems requirements, operational aspects and requirements, integrity protections, accounting and financial records requirements, patron account requirements, promotions, regulatory costs, and anti-money laundering program requirements. Where appropriate, the proposed mobile sports wagering requirements mirror regulatory requirements already in place for sports wagering at the commercial casinos. Revisions are also proposed to the existing Part 5329 to incorporate new statutory requirements and update statutory cross-references, definitions, and nomenclature to distinguish regulatory requirements applicable to the sports wagering operated by commercial casinos and the potential mobile sports wagering operations. Wagering restrictions for casinos and mobile sports wagering employees and related persons have also been standardized. Staff recommends that the commission propose this rulemaking.
Thank you, Rob. Commissioners, are there any questions on the proposal of rules regarding mobile sports wagering? Hearing no questions, may I have a motion to propose this rule?
I move to adopt.
Thank you. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. There is no old business listed on the agenda. Does anyone have any new business to consider?
Chairman Placumba, might I say, it's just like old times again.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Crotty. Do any commissioners have any items they'd like to present now for consideration? The commission traditionally has met on the 4th Monday of each month, which for September would be the 27th. For planning purposes, Secretary Buckley will be in contact to consider availabilities. Before we adjourn, I'd be remiss if I failed to thank those who have spent countless hours working on the numerous drafts of both the RFA and the rules proposal, a real Herculean task. I specifically want to identify the Division of Gaming's Tom Annapolis and Jim Gugas for their efforts, Ed Burns from the Office of Counsel for his review and input, and Steve Lowenstein's dedication to getting these documents prepared and issued. Thank you to all of you. Hearing no other items for consideration, this meeting of the New York State Gaming Commission is adjourned.
I second your opinions on the staff and the work to get this out. That really is pretty great stuff.
Thank you, John. Hope to see you soon.